see this shoe. Voila! I'm the lightest shoe. Hello, this is Ultrally. Here we're trying to get you to make the leap into Ultra. So how do you do that? Today we're going to talk about shoes. So I pre-selected the 3 shoes for you. One is the Hoka Mafate, Hoka One Mafate. The other one is the Stinson Trail. And finally I have here with me the latest in the family, the Hoka Conquest. So can Hokas help in your leap to Ultra? Obviously if you want to run well, you have to run on the ball of your feet. Right? This won't help improve your posture, I think, the Hokas. Once you have your good posture, they will help you run farther, especially on trail. When you start running like 20 miles on a long run on trails, this will make a difference. And the reason is because there is a lot of cushioning, right? Which one should you pick between these two? Let's start with the Mafate. I put 428 miles on these shoes thus far, and they're still pretty good. Here, there are no tassels anymore. Overall, it's still a good shoe. And by the way, the Mafate is the one that has the most traction of the Hoka shoes. So if you go on to trails that are dusty or where you need that traction, these are a great choice. So it's a great shoe and they are the softest. So there is a little bit of collapse here, you can see. They're still good and they're still hold strong. The other thing I like, other than again this outsole with the most traction, what you see is also that they have a more spacious toe box. I mean, this is not the Ultra, but still it's more comfortable than the Stinson Trail. By the way, I wear 10.5 in this. I will tell you the weight in 10.5, which may be interesting for you because at this point you're thinking, I want to buy them. I can't find them in the stores, or I find them cheaper on the web. So what do I do? Do I get this? Do I get the Stinson Trail? And what size should I get? I'll answer all these questions. So going back to the Mafate, what is that I don't like about this shoe? Well, it's the softest, so it doesn't have a lot of energy return. It still has a lot of energy return if you pound them on the pavement, on the trail, also downhill. But you know, it doesn't have a nice action. Doesn't have a lot of flexibility, almost none. If you are going for a run, that's great. If you're going for a race, it will let you go farther, but it won't let you go faster, for sure. Let's talk about the Stinson Trail. Let's start with the manners on this shoe. First of all, the outsole is less resistant. I have put 192 miles on this shoe. After the first 50 miles, they were, on a race actually. Yeah, you should never wear a new shoe on a race, but hey, I did it. All these tassels really went away here. Bottom line, it's less resistant. On the other hand though, there are some advantages to this shoe. The stack is actually harder than the Mafate, which obviously it's not always a plus. However, if you look at this, there is some rock ring geometry here, so if there is more energy return, that's good in a race. That's why I'd rather go with this on a race than with the Mafate. The up is really tight. I had to go for the 11, not a 10.5, and still on that race, just to avoid issues with my Morton's neuron, I have to cut this off and I have to release a little bit also pressure. And at the end of the day, oh, by the way, these are the quick lace. I'm okay with them. They work for me. So bottom line, very good shoe for long runs. The more energy return, you have to get them a little bit bigger, so half size bigger than your regular shoes. Bottom line, longer runs, races. That's my assessment. Again, I think that they are a great shoe if you want to run 20 miles or 30 miles like I did last weekend in these shoes, and the day after I could go run again. Not that I did, but I could have. So let's talk about drawback. I think that the main issue with the Hokas is ankle twisting, and it's actually more of an issue here than here, because obviously this is a harder stack. How do you avoid ankle twisting? The solution for me is having a great sole. So what happens is that they stabilize the rotation of your foot. Therefore, they avoid more of the twisting that may happen of your foot. So I really recommend, in any case, especially if you have high arches, throw away the sole that comes with the shoe, the 2 soles that come with the shoe, and stick to something that works better with your feet. Other drawbacks. you lose control. You have less of a feel for the terrain. That's obvious, right? You're insulated from the terrain from this. They're heavier. They're heavier than the others, although I have to show you how heavy they are because they're not double the weight. I'll give you all the data and you'll judge by yourself. Alright, let's talk about the baby, the newcomer in the Hoka family, the Conquest. So the Conquest is a road shoe. You can run on trails, obviously, but I don't really recommend it for trail, because you can see that there is this net. The dust will go in, and after a few miles it will go on your socks, then your feet. You don't want to do that. On the other hand, the toe is more comfortable, larger, so it's as large probably as the Mafate, and as you can see though it has the same structure as the Stinson Trail. However, it's just because of the mesh is more comfortable. It's not as tight as the Stinson. It's a good shoe to put a lot of miles on the road. The other thing I like is this Martyr outsole. The Stinson Trail, the tassels here are gone. I expect the same will happen with this. And that's why they put this reinforced rubber, very smart, in the right places. I hope they'll do it for all their shoes, especially for the trail shoes that I'll keep on using the most. So will I use this shoe on the road? I will definitely use it more. The reason is there is more energy return, and the foot is lower on the ground, although it seems like a huge stack, but actually your foot is going to be around here, the bottom of your foot is going to be around here. So that's a great advantage. Now, there are lots of shoes with a lot of cushioning, and we'll compare the weight of them. And then you can make your conclusion. Is it worth to have the additional weight and the lack of, well, this is a little bit more flexible than the other two. But still, it's not that flexible. Is that something you want to live with? Minuses. Can't use on trails, unless they're very packed, hard trails with no dust. It's lighter than the other two. We'll weight them, and we'll weight also other shoes to compare them. But still, it's kind of heavy, in my opinion. And it's comfortable. Again, toe box is not huge, it's not like the Ultras, but I can go with a 10.5 with this, like I can go with the Mafate, while for the Stinson Trail I had to go with the 11. Bottom line, should you get these big babies? Should you buy them? Should you run with them? I'd say definitely yes. Once you have a good posture, a good running posture, you should definitely buy them. They will allow you to run farther. Maybe there are other max cushioned shoes coming on the market, like for example the Ultra Olympus that I already bought, and you know, I'll have a video soon about that. I think that this will allow you to run farther. You can run 20-30 miles and be okay at the end of it. If you run 20-30 miles with another shoe, with a lighter shoe, probably you will suffer the day after. At least I do. I'm not, again, I'm a new ultra runner like many of you. I made my leap to ultra running practically in the last 2 years. Therefore, I really like to have the option of saving my feet and my legs when I could with the Hokas. And the day later you'll be able to run again. That's a big advantage if you want to get to 40, 50, 60 mile weeks. If your feet can stand the pounding with lighter shoes, probably that's what you should do. If at some point, like me, you run into just some physical limits of your feet and you need to give your feet a pause, but you still want to keep on running, then go max cushioning with the Hokas or with others. Alright, it's time to weigh them. Let's start with the Stinson Trail. Size 11, 373 grams. Mafate, 365. And these are 10.5 though. And the Conquest, this is size 11, although I could have gone for 10.5. 344. No sole, because again I'm using my own sole. Okay, let's compare. This is the Asics Kinsey 4, great shoe, 325. So you see, less cushioning, definitely a lot more technology, but the weight is very comparable. But if you want to fly on the trails, then maybe you want to go with something like this. The New Balance Minimus 1010. 240 grams. That's it. Hopefully this helps you make the leap to ultra like it did for me. And see you next time.